Hi, my name is Sheila Wenner, and I'm the Career Preparation Manager in the Career Center at BYU Idaho. In this video, I will go over guidelines on how to format your resume. Resumes, on average, will get a 6 to 10 second review from a recruiter or hiring manager. This means you want to format your resume so it is easy for a recruiter to find your most relevant information quickly. Your resume should be visually appealing and easy to read. To do this, we recommend formatting your experience using bullets rather than paragraphs so the reader can easily find the information they are looking for. You want to make sure you have no spelling errors or inconsistencies. Make sure you don't include personal pronouns like I, my, our, or we in your resume. It is 1 page in length in most cases. Does not include a picture unless your industry specifically requires it. And you want to have the most relevant information at the top. All right, so here's a resume for you to critique. I'm going to give you a few minutes to review this resume and see if you can find any errors or inconsistencies. You can do this as a class, or you can split into groups. Go ahead and pause this video now. How did this exercise go for you? Were you able to find any errors? Okay, let's work through this resume together and I will show you what errors I noticed. The first error is the contact information should be centered, and I would move it closer together for a cleaner look. The next 2 errors are the graduation date, and it is missing the university location. All you need to do is list the date with the month and year you are going to graduate. It isn't necessary to include your starting year. And you also want to include the city and state of your university. The next error is with the section headings. They should always be the same font size and consistent in using upper and lowercase letters. There is no wrong or right way to write your section headings. Choose one way and be consistent throughout the resume. The next error is you always want to be consistent with how you lead your company or position, meaning which one is listed on top and which one is listed below. Again, it doesn't matter which one you choose first, just make sure it's consistent. In some cases, you may want to lead with the company because it has a recognizable brand, or the position title might be your selling point, and then you would lead with it first. Choose what you want your reader to see first, and then be consistent with the order throughout your resume. Next, make sure all your dates and locations are right justified. You don't want floating dates on your resume because it becomes confusing to the reader. And make sure you include the right city and state. In this case, this student worked at BYU Idaho, which is in Rexburg, Idaho, but listed the location as Provo, Utah. Bullets on your resume are fragmented sentences that start with an action verb. Because of that, you wouldn't end your bullets with a period. If you choose to italicize the location for each experience, make sure you are consistent and always italicize throughout the resume. Your experience should always be in reverse chronological order, meaning list your most recent experience first and then list the next experience. If you have 2 experiences that occur simultaneously and you are not sure which one to put first, start with the one you want your reader to see first. It is standard resume practice to leave out personal pronouns like I, my, and me. And recruiters and HR executives usually expect your resume to be written in this style. So make sure you remove them if they show up in your bullets. When using dashes in your dates, make sure they are always the same size and same spacing before and after throughout the resume. And when you use any characters to separate information like positions or names, make sure your spacing is always consistent throughout the resume. Watch for any spelling errors. Microsoft Word will usually catch them, but sometimes there are errors it will miss, so make sure you proofread them. When writing the months for your dates, you can choose to abbreviate or write the full month out. Either way is correct, just be sure to be consistent. And remember, some of those shorter months like April, June, or July can catch you off guard, where you write them out but abbreviate the other months, so be sure to watch for that. And the last error on this resume is not abbreviating the state. Again, you can choose to abbreviate it or not, but whatever you decide, make sure you do it consistently through the resume. A great resource to help you identify every error we just went through is VMock. VMock is available to use for free for every student on campus. You can access it at vmock.com/BYUI and use your BYUI username and password to log in. It is easy to use. Just upload a PDF file of your resume and it will give you instant feedback so you can make sure your resume is polished and ready to hand out. Here is what the finished resume looks like when all the corrections have been made. This is much easier for a recruiter to read through. They won't become sidetracked or dismiss your resume because of errors. Some other questions you might be thinking are, how far back do I go with my work experience? Can my resume be longer than 1 page? Should I include a picture on my resume? Should I include color in my resume? How do I order my sections? Just remember that your resume should highlight your skills and strengths that the employer is looking for. That may mean some older experiences may not be relevant to the position you're applying for, and if so, you can leave them out. But if an older experience highlights something you want the reader to know about you, go ahead and include it. Typically, a resume should be 1 page, especially when you are an undergraduate student or about to graduate. There are very few instances. Let me say that again. There are very few instances when a resume should be more than 1 page. For example, a college student about to graduate who is applying for a federal position, their resume would need to be more than 1 page because that is what is expected for that industry. This goes back to knowing your audience. In most every other case, you can hurt your chances of being considered when you submit a resume longer than 1 page as a college student or recent graduate. Should you include a picture on your resume? As a rule of thumb, no. Some companies won't even accept your resume if it includes a picture on it because it could subject them to unintentional bias. It can also be a distraction from your relevant skills and experience. If you want a recruiter to see a photo of you, include your LinkedIn URL and make sure you have a very professional photo on your LinkedIn profile. There are some industries where a photo would be required on your resume, like theater and acting. And again, this goes back to knowing your audience. Should you include color on your resume? There are some times when it can add value, especially when you're applying to a creative or design position. You want to consider what it looks like if a hiring manager prints it out in black and white. Does it still add value or does it become a distraction? Some employers may be turned off by color on your resume, so make sure you do your research. Know who your audience is and what they expect to see on a resume. How do you order your sections? You want to make sure you put your biggest selling points first. In most cases, that's your education and then work experience. In your work experience, if your most recent work experience isn't the experience you want to highlight first, then what do? You can create sections to help you list your experience in the way that benefits you most. In this example, this student was applying to a position where her previous administrative experience was her biggest selling point, and she wanted it to come first, even though her internship was her most recent experience. To make sure the reader saw her administrative experience first, she created a work experience section and an internship experience section. That allowed her to order her experience sections the way she wanted to. The reader was then able to see her administrative experience first because it was most relevant for the position she was applying to. Remember, within each section, you still need to list each experience in reverse chronological order. Okay, let's recap what we just learned. Remember, most resumes get a 6 to 10-second review at first, so your resume should be visually appealing and easy to read. Have no errors or inconsistencies. It should not include personal pronouns. It should be 1 page. It shouldn't include a picture, and your biggest selling point should be at the top.